Hey guys, Simon and Alex here from Top Tennis Training, and welcome to video number 1 from my Tennis Tactics Blueprint course.
Now this course has been one of our most successful courses to date. We've had the most positive feedback on it, and it's a course that helps most of you guys deal with all the different conditions, the different opponents, and all the different tactical situations that you may encounter in a tennis match, which will make you win more matches.
So in this video we're going to take a look at how to beat a pusher. So Alex, what exactly is a pusher?
Pusher, or grinder as some players like to call it, it's a player who's a little bit more defensive. It's a player who hits quite high over the net. They can be very consistent. They're usually very mentally strong. They frustrate their opponent into making mistakes. They don't necessarily have a lot of power. They don't go for their shots a lot, but their whole game is based upon making a lot of balls, running balls down usually, so they're usually quite fit. They like to make sure that the rallies go on for a long period of time. They usually break their opponent down by frustrating them and making them miss. So this is the kind of player that I'm sure a lot of you encounter, and it's the kind of player that we're going to help you deal with today.
Now there are many different ways to beat the pusher, but one of the most successful ways is to bring them into net.
Now obviously a pusher, a player who's used to playing deep behind the baseline, they want to keep the rallies long. They're not going to want to come forward. Usually they don't have the best volleys because they spend most of their time playing from the back. You're getting them into a position where they don't necessarily like to be in. They're not there very often. So the likelihood is you can either make them miss on the volley, or you can pass them if their approach shot isn't good enough. Now the first thing you need to remember is you need to try and keep the ball low, because even if a pusher is coming forward, if the ball is too high, they'll be able to attack it. Any player of decent level can attack and put away a ball that's easy for them. So you still want to make a ball that's quite difficult, therefore being quite low, making them hit up on it so they're not able to hit their approach shot and put you into trouble.
Now Alex has played 5 Grand Slams, and he's played hundreds of matches on the ATP Tour, and he's encountered tons of pushers along the way. So in your experience, Alex, what are some of the main things that pushers don't like?
So the pusher doesn't like, one, when they're being attacked, and attacked with power. So they don't like, I mean, some of them are good at absorbing power, that's what they're used to, but if you can get through them, if you can expose the space that they create because you're able to move them side to side, if you have a powerful game, you'll usually be able to overpower a pusher, because they can't take the ball away from you. They're not a counter puncher. Yeah, they can't do something with it, so they're waiting for you to make a mistake, and if you have power, then you can kind of go through them a little bit. So I find that when I played my best tennis, I was able to get through the pusher. Another one is if you can bring them forward. So if they're coming into the net, usually the pusher doesn't like being at the net. They don't spend a lot of time at the net, they don't spend a lot of time practicing their volleys. It's not necessarily a game that they like to play. So if you can get them to the net, get them to somewhere where they're uncomfortable, you can actually either pass them or make them hit an uncomfortable volley and hopefully miss the ball. Another way is if you play, well, when they're on the baseline, a good way to expose the space that they create is by playing a lot back behind them. Because they're very quick, they'll run side to side. If you can play cross down line, cross down line, they kind of get used to the pattern and they start going for it, and it's very difficult to get them out of balance. But because they're expecting that shot and you can play back behind them, you can win a lot of points that way. It's also a good idea to approach and come forward against the pusher. So if you're coming in, not all the pushers are that great at passing. So when they're in trouble, when they have to produce on the spot, when there's not much time, you're making them come up with something, and not a lot of pushers like doing that too. They're much more comfortable staying back, having a lot of time, kind of sucking you into that game of up, down, not much is happening, and kind of waiting for your mistakes. So if you can force them into that uncomfortable situation where they actually feel like, oh, if I miss this, it's over on this point, a lot of them don't like that as well.
Now inside the full course we'll go over each one of those in more detail, but today we're going to look at how to beat the pusher by bringing them forward.
So a great way to bring the pusher forward is by playing a slice. So keeping the ball low, and what happens with the slice is the ball doesn't bounce up very high, so it goes over the net low and it stays low. It forces them to hit up on the ball, which is quite tough if the ball is shorter. It forces them to come forward, and it will give you an easier passing shot afterwards. Now, it's a good idea to hit the ball cross court, because if you go down the line, it's actually quite tough to, you don't have as much space to go into almost. You get a bigger court going cross court, and also you're going over the lower part of the net, so you can afford to keep the ball a little bit lower. So if you can chisel that shot cross court, something that Federer does a lot. I know Tim Henman used to do that great. If you're getting into a long rally and you're rallying, hitting over the ball, top spin, the balls are going high, and then all of a sudden you throw in a little chip, like a slice that goes short and cross, it really throws off the opponent. And sometimes even if they get there, you'll either have the full court to go into, or you're going to have a lot of power behind the ball because you're able to set up. They're not going to be able to hit that ball very well. What happens with that ball is once the player starts running out to the side, because you've gone cross court chisel, like you almost want the ball to go into the boxes, so into your service box, and come out, off the court. So when they get there, they're going to be off the court, and again that forces them to play that shot that they're not necessarily used to hitting that well. They're out of the court. They know that if they give it to you, if they just make the ball, they're going to lose the point because you're going to hit it into the open space. So making the ball is not good enough. They're actually going to have to either hit the ball, hit a winner, go for it, or they're going to have to play an approach shot, and in turn that makes them play a volley that they don't want to do. So it's a great tactic that you can use, and let's have a look at how to do it on the tennis court. Now, Simon was known for being quite a bit of a pusher, so I'm going to get into a nice rally with him, and then I'm going to try and use my slice, my chisel, to bring him forward, hopefully either pass him or make him hit an uncomfortable volley. So let's see if I can do it. Now, this is a great tactic that you can use on a faster court, like an artificial grass or a grass court or a fast hard court. If you can get the ball low and cross court, you'll be in a good position there. Try and use the correct shot. So you want to be on your backhand, you want the ball to be nicely high for you, so you don't want to be too low because then you might force the ball to go up. So you want to be a little bit higher so that you can go down on it and almost make the ball kind of stick as it lands. So you want to still accelerate through that shot. Now, for a pusher, it's a lot more difficult to go down a line because the net is higher down the line. So I'm almost expecting that player to hit the ball a little bit more cross court, and I adjust my movement, adjust my positioning on the tennis court so that I'm standing a little bit more there. So when he does hit that cross court, I'm then able to counter that with a shot down the line, just like I did there and pass him. Now, if he does decide to go down the line, I'm still there because the ball won't be going very fast. It'll be quite a slow shot because they're going to have to come up on it. The ball is slicing, it's spinning up, but then when it bounces, I have to get a little bit lower because it's still going to be a slice if that's what he did if he sliced it. So I have to get ready for it, and then I use the angle to go cross court. Last one. Now there I chose to use the lob. Simon got really close to the net. I passed him a few times on that shot. He got really close and I saw him and I used the lob, which he was unable to get afterwards. So it's another tactic that you can use if the pusher has approached and they've hit quite a deep ball and you can see them really close to the net. You can use the lob to neutralize that and make them hit an uncomfortable smash. Now Simon went cross court there and it was actually quite a good shot. Again, I was anticipating it, and because even though I was outside of the court, I had a lot of court to aim into, so that down the line pass became quite easy. You can test it out against the players that you play. Again, you'll require a little bit of hand, a little bit of touch, which you may have to work on to get the slice. So if you can get the slice low enough, you can get the ball bouncing quite short, make him come forward. It'll put them in quite an uncomfortable situation. even if Simon comes forward, but actually it's kind of in the middle of the court, it's not exactly close to the net, it's not exactly close to the baseline, if he does choose to go back after that shot, I can then play a deep cross-court shot into the open space, and then again it'll be very difficult for him to deal with that, and he's going to play a more defensive shot, which then I can in turn attack. So there, in that rally I brought him in twice. The first slice wasn't that successful, it was still low, so I didn't lose the initiative in that point, but then the second one was a little bit closer, and when he did choose to go back after that one, I was able to hit a little bit more of a harder shot and win the point. Now there, Simon went down the line and then he retreated back. So then I used the forehand cross court, the deeper one. Because he's moving back, he was under pressure, he wasn't able to do anything with that ball, and then I could attack the next one because it wasn't very deep. Very important that you look for the shorter ball every time that happens, so you can capitalize, because the thing that the pusher likes the most is when you get dragged into that kind of game style, so not attacking the short one. So if you do get a short one, you have to attack, you have to go for it, and right there, if I would have missed that, I would have counted that as a good mistake. And, you know, unless I hit the back fence or something with it, then it wouldn't. But if I went for the shot, I went for the right shot. If I would have just missed it, it'd be okay.
Now Alex, a lot of the viewers out there, they'll be wanting to know how you produce that kind of slice to bring that pusher in.
So the slice is something we discussed in one of our videos. So we have a slice like Federer video as one of our videos on our website. But just to give you a little tip, so something that you can try and do is make sure that you don't stop the racket. So the worst thing to do is to slow down the racket face. You're not going for a drop shot there. You're going for quite a fast stroke, and what you're going to win on is the backspin and the lack of bounce that you're going to get out of the shot. It's not necessarily on how close the ball is to the net. So even the one that I didn't quite hit right, it went a little bit deeper, but because I hit a lot of slice, it still shot through, it still stayed low, and the impact was almost the same if I would have played a slightly shorter one. So it kind of just gives you a little bit more margin for error, just because you're able to hit through it. Don't rely totally on just your feel. You know, it's not a drop shot where it's just a feel shot. It's more of a fast slice through that's bouncing a little bit shorter, that's bringing the opponent in, and then you can attack the next one. Obviously, like with every slice, try and keep your racket face open through contact. You know, you want to go high to low in order to create that backspin. But again, that important part is hitting through the shot. So as the ball's on your racket, you're not just stopping, you're not jabbing it, or you're not slowing down, you're still accelerating through it. So I think that's quite important on that shot in particular.
So thank you for watching video number 1, guys. We hope you've learned something new and enjoyed the video. Now in video number 2, we're going to teach you how to deal with that exact same slice. So if you are the pusher, if you're someone who struggles with those low slices, video number 2 is going to be coming out in the next few days, so look out for that.
So why don't you guys share the video with the friends that you consider to be pushers, or someone that actually struggles with playing against a pusher. So this would be either a great tactic for them, or actually show them that you now know how to beat them. So I hope you do that, and watch out for our next video, obviously coming very soon. Press the like button and share it.